So now Pike asks, hey, how did these people develop warp? And then Una's like, shh, nobody else here has security clearance. And Pike's kind of like, okay, you know what? I'm sick of that answer. Tell me what's going on. And it traces directly back to the end of season 2 of Discovery. That giant battle in space was very close to this planet, and they somehow gleaned enough info from their telescopes and whatnot, and I'm sure their radio spectrographs and things to tell what kind of reaction was going on. Except for to them, the most obvious use of this information would be to make a bomb out of it.
Yeah.
So they have a little discussion again about General Order 1. Does it apply? Does it not apply? Pike, for some reason, again, is seeing a reflection of a plate of nachos on the screen. And now he decides that he's going to kind of go according to his own plans. He tells the rest of the crew to get back to the ship, that he and Spock will remain. And Spock's like, hey, Captain, don't you think they'll catch on to the fact that I'm an alien? And Pike's like, yeah, that's kind of my plan. So their elevator, everybody else takes off. Their elevator gets to its destination. The door opens. There's security agents standing there. And I love this. Pike looks at him and says, take me to your leader.
Yeah.
I love that they drop back to this old UFO canard,
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it was good. Very much, it's kind of there with the day the Earth stood still kind of thing. So they're taken to the head of the planetary government. Pike apologized to the entire planet, basically, for the effect they had on it. To which the leader's like, what are you saying? Like, our scientific discoveries are like an accident on your part? And he's like, no, but we should have been careful about what we were doing anyways.
Yeah, I mean, she was kind of asking him like, oh, you're sitting here acting like we didn't do all this work. Like, you did this to us. Our people didn't build all this technology.
Exactly, yeah, where he was just like kind of taking it away from them.
Yeah. That's why I hate when people ascribe like the pyramids to aliens and stuff.
Oh, that drives me nuts. I'm like, are you kidding me? Have you seen the things that we as human beings can actually accomplish when we want to do something?
Yeah.
I mean, we had somebody that stared at an olive tree for 6,000 years, so they figured out the right way to mix oils and salts and spices to eat the damn things. We can figure out a way to build a pyramid. But yeah, so that was kind of the implication there. She's like, yeah, are you saying this, that you guys did this and not us? But Pike like tries to explain to him, like, look, you guys are looking at this like this gigantic destructive force, but it can actually be used to do these other things, like, to actually bridge the distance between worlds and blah, 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 blah. But also its destructive capacity is just off the charts. And he and the leader start having a discussion, how about seditious faction? This term, and I'm sure it was meant to, this term bothered me a lot.
Yeah. When you use the term faction, let's not worry about seditious right here, but faction, that seems like a small group to me. So you're planning on to drop this warp bomb on what's probably a relatively small group compared to the rest of your planet
population. And since earlier they bring up the fact that they were talking about using it on domestic targets, like the whole thing was just like really, really, really troubling to me. And I'm sure it was meant to be. And apparently whatever conflict's been going on, it's been going on for centuries. Spock, of course, compares it to mass murder. And then she asks if there are people that had never had to put down civil unrest before. And then Pike brings up, negotiation and debate and blah, 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 blah. And then he brings up a phrase by the Kikuyu people, I believe is how it was pronounced. When elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers.
That's a really weird thing to say to an alien race.
Yeah, who may not have grass or elephants.
I feel like he could have picked a more general proverb to quote.
Yeah. When giant animals fight, it's the ground that suffers.
Yeah, I mean, in the context, it makes sense because it basically is talking about all the civilian casualties that are going to be suffered as a result of a political fight.
Yeah. So she points out that, hey, you're bringing me parables and proverbs, and what I need is a big stick, and whoever has the biggest stick wins.